Okay, Alex from 200 degrees. All right. Talk us through what you're doing, Alex.
All right, so we're just weighing out our coffee here, just for consistency's sake. So we're aiming for 18 grams. Oh, I put us over, but that's all right. It's always better to have too much than not enough.
What about retention on these machines?
It is very minimal, especially when you're weighing out individual doses. But what we'll do just for the sake of science is we'll weigh out what we get as well, just to see where things are looking.
Okay, so I noticed you warmed the cup and also warmed the portafilter.
Yep, it just keeps things really consistent because we want everything nice and hot.
And if you're making sort of 2 or 3 coffees in home use, you know, what's the strategy for making sure people get hot coffee and the last person doesn't get their coffee 10 minutes after the first?
I recommend just make your drinks one at a time. Yeah. Make a full drink, serve it, make a full drink, serve it. That way things are just consistent, they're hot, and that's exactly what we're going for. So we've just distributed our coffee to make sure it's all even and consistent, and then we've given it a bit of a tamp.
Now, you didn't use my WDT tools there.
Oh, no, I didn't, just because I wasn't paying attention. So according to this, we had, what, 30.3 grams so 30 milligrams retention.
Okay.
So very
That's
minimal.
Not too bad.
But ideally, we want our shots to be between 17.5 and 18.5 is kind of the ideal range. So that's spot on right there. So we're going to just declump this so it just gets everything nice and broken up.
Now, is that necessary, Alex, or am I just got a geek tool that I don't need?
It's not necessary, but it is extremely helpful. So a lot of commercial grinders have this sort of thing built in.
Okay.
They're called declumpers or clump crushers. But it does help just with consistency. So now we're going to distribute, and you can see how this is at a bit of an angle because our coffee isn't quite level in there. But then with a few spins, that's now leveled off.
Okay.
And that's what we're looking for, because it's all about consistency, because that's what we're shooting for. Give that a little clean. And now this time, we're going to use our scales here to make sure we get the correct recipe, just because every coffee shop and every coffee roastery has their own unique recipe to get the most out of their coffee. So ideally, finished weight, we're looking for about 35 to 36 grams of coffee.
So one of my issues was consistency between one shot and the next.
Yes.
What's the big trick?
One, making sure everything stays nice and hot, because temperature is key with all of this. But
so that was how many grams did you spot there? About 36, 7 grams?
37, yeah.
And I think the time was about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Now, milk steaming. So this is the part where most people have a really difficult time, but it's keeping things simple. So we're just going to turn this on, and we're going to purge out the steam one, so it's just steam coming out. Any condensation that's built up in there. And we're going to sink our jug all the way in. We're going to turn it on. And once the milk starts moving in the jug, we're going to just slowly start bringing our jug down until we hear a very specific sound. And we're just listening for that sound right there.
So if you went into a coffee shop, not one of yours, they do it properly, could you tell whether the milk's being steamed correctly just by the sound?
Yes, absolutely. So we're just going to make that sound for a few seconds, because the longer we make that sound, the more foam we get.
Yeah.
The less time we make that sound, the less foam we get. And now we're just going to bring this to temperature, so basically until it's too hot to comfortably leave my hand on. Some of the Sage machines come with a a thermometer on the side of their jug. And then wait until that's done making noise. A lot of people take this out too early and end up with big chunky bubbles in their milk, which is just no good. But you can see our milk looks like wet paint or melted vanilla ice cream. That's what we're shooting for.
So I had a go at this a moment ago. My milk was okay, and my latte art was out below average. So I want to see. I mean, it's just not fair.
Practice makes better. But the thing I take more pleasure in than any latte art, than anything like this, and I want to show you this here. I can get every last drop of milk from this jug into that cup without wasting a single drop.
Right, and I've been throwing away a good amount of milk in the end. Alex, thank you very much.
My pleasure.